Alright, time for another game theory video. If you like the videos, like, subscribe, comment, share. Support the channel if you can. I appreciate it. Thanks, Super Chat, PayPal, Patreon, whatever, if you want. I wasn't going to do another video about City of the Wolves because I wasn't going to watch anything, but I guess it's been raining for like 3 days straight in Japan, so I actually watched some of the beta, and, well, I've already made a video about this, of what I think about Mark of the Wolves, City of the Wolves, and what I would have done, but people want another video, so I'll try to keep my channel active. I said this before, and I'll say it again in the other video. I think what they should have done with the meter, because the meter basically, it's a little too samey Street Fighter 6, right? And I feel like they have that excuse. I think it should have been like a fucking engine, right? You know, he's always like, well, Top Gear, rev up the engine, all this kind of bullshit, right? And like I said in my video, this is what I would have done. I would have done something like, and I know when I made that video, someone said that sounds kind of like a RoboKai kind of thing, but I guess it could maybe perhaps sound like a RoboKai kind of thing, but not exactly. But again, I just think there should be some sweet spot in the meter to make the game more interesting. Like, say, once you get to this, like, let's make this bigger, some shit like that. Once you get to this like 75% or something, not quite the 99% range, this is like your sweet spot, right? This is where you want to be when you're revving up your engine, right? Or your meter, right? And of course you have this other, what was that fucking thing? I should have drawn it, right? Let me get black here on my iPad. I'm so fancy with my art. There's the supers right there, right? Anyway, I think there should have been some gimmick, and if you want to think about it like RoboKai, say, you want to be around that 70, 75, whatever, to 99%, right? That's where you do more damage, let's say, something like that, whatever it might be. But the actual gimmick of this, to make this a little bit more interesting super-wise, is, let's say, again, let's go back to purple. Let's do the purple or magenta color, whatever. Right, let's say that when you're, and you'd have to balance this, whatever. Let's say when you do EX meter moves, your bar goes down. This bar goes down, right? Let's say when you do the FD block, they have some kind of Guilty Gear mechanic, right? It's like a FD block. Your meter goes down, right? This makes this go down. But when you do stuff like your braking attacks, right? When you're braking attacks, your meter goes up. When you do, you know, the, what is it? I don't know what it's called in the game. Like special move to special move. When you do special move to special move, your meter goes up. When you just defend, your meter goes up, right? And so I think it would have just been more interesting in the game if there would have been some kind of balancing thing or something like that, of you're trying to always keep your character in the highest position they can be without actually exploding your meter, because then you'd go into your burnout state or whatever the fuck they call it in this game, right? And I just think that would have made it a little bit more interesting, right? And this would have made something, because like I said, I fucking hate EX moves, and when I'm watching the game, correct me if I'm wrong, I just feel like, does every move juggle in the game too? I'm sorry, I just get a little bit bored. Juggles are, they just aren't that fun for me to watch, dude. Everything juggling all the time, EX meter, all this kind of stuff. So I guess one of the gimmicks would be, again, if you want to think about this like something like a RoboKai, you want to be almost at your, almost without exploding your gear, you know, whatever. Around 70 to 99%, your character does more damage, whatever. Maybe this is how they have access to their supers are more powerful, whatever the fuck it is, all this kind of stuff. And you're constantly trying to keep at this gauge, right? By breaking your attacks. Because I just think when you're like, say if you're breaking the attack, like break, 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 whatever, that sounds like you're kind of like revving the engine, like vroom, vroom, vroom. Just like when you're just defending, like vroom, 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 raising the engine, right? Just like when you're special move to special move, you're revving the engine, right? But something that cools down the engine is if you do EX moves, right? So if you keep, so say maybe your character, again, I hate EX moves, but for sake of argument, say your character has great EX moves. Well, you can technically keep using all your EX moves, right? But your character is always going to be at their lowest damage state. This is when they do the least amount of damage, right? So you can keep on doing EX moves, let's say theoretically the whole match, but you're going to be so low, you'll always be doing the least amount of damage, right? Just like you can do that FD block or something like that. Well, you could keep doing the FD block, but it's going to keep draining your meter, right? And so to try to find this balance of, again, revving the engine. Well, if I keep doing special move, that revs your engine really quick, but you want to be careful because it might explode the meter, right? Something like that. So then you find that balance. Okay, I'm revving the engine, vroom, vroom, special move to special move. Maybe I do an EX move. I cancel it a little bit low, but oh, I did one too many EX moves. Now I'm back down doing less damage. Some kind of meter tug of war, always trying to find a balance like that of keeping your character in this sweet spot. And that's where they always do the most damage with their attacks. That's where their supers do more damage. You know, they have level 3s. I think the level 3 is tied to the top gauge, whatever, and your health bar, isn't it? But, you know, maybe you could even give another gimmick for that. But, and again, you could find some kind of balancing act. Who knows? Maybe once you play the game and you balance the game, you're like, actually, it's better if EX moves raise your meter and that the special moves lower the meter, right? Whatever the balancing act is. But I just think when I look at the game, I'm like, it just seems too obvious. All the kid, oh, I'm revving up my engine. Oh, top gear. You know, top axle, dude. I think it's stupid, but you know what? Every game has its own gimmick, right? So I just think they should have done something like that. So when I said this, some guy said it's kind of like a RoboKite thing, what I'm explaining. But I guess maybe if you think about it like right there, that's kind of a RoboKite thing. But the gimmick is, again, find these core sort of mechanics that they have and find a balancing act of one raises your meter, one lowers your meter, right? Because again, it's just a little too samey for Street Fighter 6 for me. Again, it does have the cool, like I enjoy the idea that what if you do it level 3, it resets your meter again. I mean, that's kind of cute, and you have to be in the top gauge or some shit like that, you know. That's kind of cute, but Street Fighter 6 has the kind of interesting you know, once you're burned out, you can do the drive impact to, you know, dizzy the guy, which is kind of a cool thing about Street Fighter 6, right? So I guess they kind of pick and choose their interesting thing, right? But, or even that's the thing, this game has the drive impact. Would drive impact raise your meter or would it lower your meter, right? And again, just try to find, maybe some characters are great at, oh man, maybe there's optimal situations like, oh, this guy revs the engine, lowers it with that mechanic, revs it with that. And some guy, maybe there's some players that are so great at keeping their character in that optimal state, right? Whereas maybe some character, they have just so many great EX moves. So you're like, I'm going to just play my character. And that would actually give you different play styles too. Again, I hate EX moves. But for sake of game theory, maybe there's some things like, wow, I'm just going to just EX move the entire match because my EX moves are so fucking effective. Maybe I don't have a real reversal unless I EX move all the time, which again, I hate EX moves, but for sake of argument, in a system like this is what I would do, right? Well, I keep doing these EX moves because they're so effective. Yeah, I'll never be doing the most damage that I can do, but I don't have a reversal unless I use my EX moves. Maybe my special moves suck or something like that. So I'm giving up, you know, the special, but my EX moves are good. Or maybe that would be the vice versa. Maybe my special moves, the special move, or, you know, whatever. Find some kind of balance. Revving, and you could always see the meter like throttling like that. Trying to keep it in that range. I just think that would make the game more interesting. Alright. Anyway. Remember, if you like the videos, like, sub, silly, comment, share, support the channel if you can. I appreciate it. Thanks. The end.